What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to EP09. Today, we have an update on Sergio Oliva Jr., who is looking ridiculous right now. Tonio Burton drops a physique update at 14 weeks out. Big Ramy keeps dancing around his progress around the Arnold Classic prep. And Shaun Clarida makes a big announcement on his intentions for the rest of the 2023 bodybuilding season.
If you win, or when you win the Arnold, will you go into the Open at the Olympia?
So we're going to start off with some physique updates from Sergio Oliva Jr., where he has been looking extremely impressive lately. At over 300 pounds, it's clear that Sergio is getting ready for a show, but he hasn't announced which show as of yet. Sergio has been living and training in Dubai for over a year now, and from what we can see, it's done absolute wonders for his physique, but apparently it's done wonders for his mental state as well. Sergio left the United States shortly after taking third at the 2021 Legion Sports Fest. He placed third behind Shaun Clarida and Regan Grimes. Now, Sergio left the United States for a lot of reasons, really. He outlines it all in his recent interview on Flex Lewis's podcast. I'll link the entire video below, but Sergio goes into detail about how he was falling out of love with training, how he basically wasn't fitting well into the professional bodybuilding industry, fighting with seemingly everyone's opinion online, constantly actually. He talked about having to get away from marijuana, so a bunch of things really. He just needed to change. Well, it looks like it worked because these updates are hands down the best that Sergio has ever looked, even at 37 years old. He's definitely getting ready for something, but he plans on moving back to the United States before he competes, and he has his aim set very, very high.
No matter what, like you said, when I come on stage, you're at least going to watch, and you're going to want to, even if you're hoping for me to fail, you're going to at least be like, okay, I want to see what this is going to be.
Yeah.
It's been too long of me not being who I should be. If I nail it, I can win the Olympia. I can win any show I want.
So look, having his father as a former Mr. Olympia probably feeds that fire a little bit. It adds its pressures as well, but of course he's been competing in his father's shadow to an extent, for the entirety of his career. But just as his own bodybuilder, his aesthetics combined with mass is very impressive, but we need to see him on stage again to really know his potential. He's had a roller coaster of a career as a professional bodybuilder so far, and at times he's been his own worst enemy. But we can expect to see potentially the best Sergio Oliva Jr. we have ever seen on a pro stage very soon. So Tonio Burton has announced his return to the pro stage, and he's currently sitting at 14 weeks out of the California Pro. He's currently sitting around 240 pounds after switching over to the Open from 212. Tonio won the Legion Sports Fest in 2022 to qualify for the Open Olympia, and he looked pretty good in a very competitive lineup. But he does look like he's growing in all the right places and making improvements. Tonio is looking to qualify earlier in the bodybuilding season so he can continue to put on the necessary size to be competitive on the Olympia stage, and I know he's eyeing the top 10 in 2023. I don't know if that's realistic for Tonio at this point, but I mean, he is gaining a lot of size at a pretty fast rate, and he does look good so far. Not to mention strong. Man, this guy is strong. The heavyweight is definitely giving him that muscle density, and fairly early in his pro career too. He's only been competing as a pro since 2018, so he still has a long way to go in this sport, I think. Keep an eye on this guy. He's growing fast, and the best is yet to come from Tonio Burton. So, with that being said, have we seen the best of Big Ramy yet? I'm sure all the hardcore bodybuilding fans have seen this recent post from Big Ramy where I can't really call this a physique update. I can't call this a pose. I guess Big Ramy has given us a little dance. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Big Ramy has given us a little dance update. Now look, this is causing a lot of conversation in the bodybuilding world right now because this post is it's so cryptic. It doesn't really tell us anything about how Big Ramy is looking right now. All it tells us is that Big Ramy is, still big. You would expect Big Ramy to still be in reasonable shape after the Olympia. It was only in December, and he does look to be in reasonable shape. But okay. Nick Strength and Power said that in his update, he doesn't think Big Ramy looks very good. Nick Trigilli said that he thinks that Big Ramy does look pretty good. Now, for me, I think that this post tells us nothing. I can't form any opinion based on this little dance. Yeah, but here's why. Big Ramy doesn't hit any pose in this picture. So Big Ramy is not flexing at all. He's standing relaxed, bouncing up and down. He's not squeezing any muscles whatsoever. The only thing I can say for sure is that Big Ramy looks like his lower back looks a little bit better, I guess you could say, and that the knots in his glutes are still there for sure. Otherwise, look, Big Ramy did post this and say that he was just kind of having fun in this update. Unfortunately, it doesn't leave the fans in the industry with much fun leading up to the Arnold. I'm just going to leave this one right here because there's nothing else to say about this update. It's not even really an update. It's nothing. But there is one update that is very exciting from Shaun Clarida. And look, Shaun is one of the most exciting bodybuilders in the scene right now. Shaun recently appeared on the Mr. Olympia LLC Instagram channel where he was asked the age-old question, will Shaun Clarida switch to the Open?
If you win, or when you win the Arnold,
Don't put me on that.
will you go into the Open at the Olympia?
You'll probably be the first to hear this, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, at this point, if I could beat, number 3 in the world, number 6 in the world, number 9 in the world,
Yeah.
that just tells me I belong on that stage. And I've always said timing's everything.
So, this Arnold just got even more interesting than it was before. Shaun has been asked this many times, of course, and his answer has always been the same. Someday he'll do it, but he never says exactly when. Shaun's exit from the 212 would definitely start some more conversation around, the future of the 212 division. And, there's a lot of that opinion out there in conversation lately about if the 212 is even going to survive as a division in the future. Now, personally, I think 212 isn't going anywhere, and that pro bodybuilding needs that transitional division between classic and open. And 212 only fits for some competitors, especially shorter guys, obviously. I don't want to get into the future of the 212 division too much in this video, but regardless of what will happen to 212 in the future, the question is Shaun realistically going to win the Arnold Classic? So yes, Shaun is the giant killer. Shaun has thrown down the likes of Sergio Oliva Jr. and Regan Grimes in 2021 at the Legion Sports Fest, but I mean, this Arnold lineup is a bit of a different animal. I think the bottom line is, no, I don't think Shaun will win the Arnold Classic. He's going to show up probably in the best condition of anyone in the show, don't get me wrong. He's going to probably be the best proportioned guy on that stage, potentially behind Samson, but standing next to some of the top guys in the open division, I think he's going to look too small, and I don't know how else to say it. I do think that Shaun is going to look incredible. I think that his condition and proportions is going to carry him very far, potentially to the top 3, top 5 for sure, but I just think he's going to look too small. Bodybuilding at the end of the day, if all things are equal with conditioning, proportions, symmetry, and thankfully these days aesthetics, bodybuilding is a muscle contest. And there's guys that just frankly dwarf him. Now, if I'm wrong, I'll be the first to stand up and say it, but that's how I think the judges are going to see this one. I would love to see Shaun in a perfect world. I would love to see Shaun compete in both divisions, and I think he should be allowed to. I think it's stupid that he can qualify for both divisions, but not be able to compete. But that's another conversation for another day. Anyway, I think Shaun would do well in the Open, regardless of how he's going to place at the Arnold, and he will place well. You guys let me know down in the comments what you guys think about Shaun's statement. So that's it for me in this video, you guys. Thank you for tuning in to EP09. Be sure to like and subscribe.